So, Kusampo Garalu. Hello everyone. Welcome back to our coding lesson. So, dari watching na coding lab ni tuka. So, in the previous class, you may have studied data science. So, today may be the final class for coding concepts, and then you'll probably receive a project after this tuka. So, last time, before we left, so last time, we talked about range more. So we went through like objects, and then we went through a list and then for loops. And after that, we looked at range for like to extract a certain data from the list and then to do something to that data more. So Daridi Bewachin, now there's another problem. So Kasanim Labdusumbai, computer science nalu, there are a lot of problems and we work to solve those. That's how programming gets better more. So Darigi Bewachin, we have a new problem. Tuga. And then problem digachimo sewachin. Let us see challenge 56 and understand the problem. So Sana Bewachin, like if you see this problem, what you have is between monkey and the cart carrying the banana, there are obstacles. If you run this one, uh, so if you run this one, what happens is the cart carrying the banana will bump into this obstacle bar. So our goal out here is to clear those obstacles so that the cart out here can reach the monkey. So how can you clear these obstacles? So if this is a box like this, then we have to smash it by using the dragon. And then if it is a ice cube like this, then what you have to do is you have to melt it using the dragon. So there are two methods that dragon has. One is fire at, say, dragon dot fire at, that fires at the obstacle and then it melts if it is ice. But for these boxes out here, card boxes out there, what you have to do is you have to smash it. Like you have to use the method dragon dot smash more. So that will clear this obstacle. So the problem of there is you cannot do a single thing like what we did last time. Last time we watching for we could have done something like for obstacle in obstacles. Then you have to you could just go on to smash it or something like that. But there are two obstacles out there. So our condition out here is if it is ice cube, we have to fire at more. And then if it is a box like that, then you have to like smash it. So how can you do it? How can you do it? So Anidhi, like we have a new solution to this. So conditionals allow to go. So conditionals is just like English words if and else. So if it is ice. If obstacle is ice, then you just do dragon dot fire at obstacle, and else you could do something like dragon dot smash. So just see this code out here. When you see this code out here, what we do out here is we write something like for obstacle in obstacles, the for loop, and then after that, after you indent it, you have two conditions there. If obstacle is ice, then you fire at it, dragon dot fire at obstacle more. And if else else if the obstacle is not an ice, anything other than ice, you just do dragon dot smash, then obstacle. So that being said, don't forget to note the colon after each statement, even after if and else, and then indent it again 4 units inward. So hemagisumbe, every time you use like the colon, you have to indent it 4 units inwards, just to say that that code that is under that is being indented runs under another code that's above it. Hagoimo. So that is it for if and else. Uh, That is a simple thing mo. So let us now go to the next problem tuga. So we have another problem now. So to know that problem, we will go to challenge 61. Okay. So elif condition chi lapna se lap demo follow. So elif ti chegi the tungani challenge na mathonga. So I did not include it. Elif is just like if. So if elif else lap dalo. If there's another condition like ice meba rock che. So in between you could do something like if obstacle is ice, then you fire at it. And if obstacle is rock, then you could do something to it. So you could just use if in place of elif at the moment. Chegi analu for challenge na mathonga, so I did not include it here. But elif is just like else if. Tuga. So there is another problem that we have to go through. So to know that problem, let us see challenge 61. So if you go to challenge 61 and see there, what you find out here is, okay, what you see out here is there's a well, and then inside the well, there's a crocodile and water. So your goal out here is to increase the water level till it reaches the top, till the well gets filled up, and then the cart carrying the banana can just pass through from above the crocodile. So how do you do that? So every time you hit, you have a method called elephant dot spray at which the elephant sprays water into the well. So every time you call that method, the elephant will only spray at the well just one unit. Tuka. So out here, if you see out here, you have four calls to this function. More. And then if you run this, so what it does is it fills up the well four times more. See carefully. So animchina stop joiva more. So if you have to fill to the top, you have to call it six times more. That's a lengthy bit of code, right? So we want to simplify it. We want to do something like until the water fills up the well more, until the water level reaches the maximum water level in that well. So on the top sensei, we continue to fill it using the elephant. So you want to say something like until a condition is met, you want to do something. So loop, we have to use another kind of loop. Tuga. So out here, if you see, we have to say until the well's water level is less than the well's maximum water level, then we have to do something. So until is being replaced by while, tuga, while, while. So that is called while loop. So loop E is just like for loop. It in the sense that it continues to run until and unless a condition is met. More. So for loop kidi, what it does is it iterates to each elements in a list more or any other data types, and then it does something to each of those elements. Whereas while loop does something until and unless the condition is met or until and unless until the condition is true. So out here, if you see here, you have something like while one dot water level is less than while one maximum water level. So max water level. So as long as the water level in a well is less than its maximum water level, then elephant continues to spray at it. So as soon as the condition becomes false, as soon as it becomes equal out here, then the loop stops. While loop stops, and then we are done with it. So for instance, anisumchina tawachin, what we do out here is we just write a while loop. Uh, I'll show another challenge for this. So what we do is we do something like this. Anlalu, while that water level is less than while that maximum water level, elephant dot spray at, and the parameter is while more. So what we are saying at this saying with this code is actually until the water level is less than the until the water level is equals to mo. So equals to the equal जो ची the stop जो मेवा, but before that the less space sumiti, just before that until the water level reaches that one, we continue to spray it. So we write something like while that water level is less than while that maximum water level, elephant dot spray at well. So what it does is the elephant continues to spray at the well until it gets filled more. So lokchi call be mingo beba. So we just call it once and then the code runs till the condition is false. Tuga. That is well do. So similar to the earlier loops, don't forget to add a colon behind the statement and then indent the second statement, the second line 4 units inwards, 4 white space inwards. Tugush. So that is with the while loop. So to recap, a while loop runs till the condition becomes false. Mo false cho chidi run miwe. As soon as the condition is false, it will stop. So before that, it will continue to run. That's the difference between for loop and while loop. So the most important part of our discussion today will be functions. Please pay attention because we have designed a project for you at the end. So I'll talk about project at the end. So in which you have to write functions to go. So when I am talking about functions, please pay attention. So, what is function actually? So, function is a reusable block of code. Tuga. So, say you want to write a code which you can use again and again and again, just like any loop this do mena. That loop this do, the print this do mena. Python nalu. So you can call those print and loop again and again because it is already written by the designers. So Hanizumbe, we want to design a code which we can call again and again and run without having to write it separately again. So Hanizumchi reusable block of code lu function selam. So it is just like a calculator mo. Calculator sachi ba. Once you buy a calculator, you just use it more. You have to buy it only once. So you can use it to calculate many different kind of numbers. More numbers kachi suru addition beru subtraction beru gachilo reuse betu beba calculator di ani zumbera function ni ani zumbe. Once you design it, you could use it again and again using different data values and then you could still get the expected result. More. So a function should have parameters whose value should be passed while calling it handi la next side na pisavelabge. So how do you a code sample function looks like this one. If you see out here under defining, so how you write is firstly you have to write the word def mo defines a bit, that is short for define. So you have to define a function but def, that's mandatory, and then after that uh, let me use this slide. Okay, so after that you write the name of the function. Tuga. So ananalu bewachin. If you see out here, feel well sudumo. Feel well sudu analu. That is the name of the function. So you can keep the name of the function whatever you wish to. So according to your convenience, you can write it whatever you like according to what functions you are going to write. But def the mandatory. So after that, you open a bracket and inside bracket, you write parameters. Say. So parameters are kind of the required uh, what you say now, the required data that you could use to make the code work, make the function work. So that way watching whale and elephant duva. So feel whale gi denlu, we need one elephant and one whale, but the elephant has to stray at and the whale have to get filled up. So anzumbe, those are uh, the required data types in the function too. So ani the parameters lapi. So ani you defined you write it inside the you clearly write it inside the brackets and then you close the bracket and then the colon out here. Don't forget this colon. And after that, you indent it four white spaces in what, and then you write the main body of the function. What do you want to do with that function? So in our case out here, we want to fill the while more. So we just write the while loop. So you have to write something like while that water level is less than maximum water level. And then what you want to do, you want to use the elephant to spray at the well. So Anzumbe, you just write the body what you want to do with the code. So the difference out here between this bit of code and the other one, and Zumbe without this is the one we wrote more. That's because in while loop sum use because we have three elephants out here. So there are different water level tame. Kachlo and the maximum water level of this first while is different from the second, which is different from the third more. So each elephant have to spray at the well different amount of water more. So for those kind of tasks, what we do is we design one function that takes maximum water level. So when you call this function, if you see down out here, when you call this function, parameters kinanalu, you pass in instead of whale and elephant, you pass in which whale and which elephant you are going to consider in each call. So first null version whale 1 and elephant 3 mo and elephant 3 meva. So whale 1, elephant 3. So ani pass pe this particular elephant will fill the well, that is well one more, until the maximum water level the well one gira consider be one well one gi consider be, and then it will get filled up more. It will spray at the elephant will spray at the well until and unless the water gets filled up. And zumbe. So you just first write a template zumbe yalu function, the template zumbe, and then you pass in parameters of which elephant and whale you want to consider in each call. Which one do you want to fill up? Similarly, to fill up the second whale, you just put in whale 2 and elephant 4. So an elephant 4 imeva nalu number 4 do run be. So ani zumbe lukchi the dachi zumchi imagine you have to write while loop again and again but out here you just pass in parameters and then you just call the function. So that is the usefulness of the function. So to recap, you just write a template. More function is just like a template or a main block of code inside which you write a representative parameters. So any parameters the function call beodalu. How you call it is you just have to write the function name, defines the dimingonalu. You just have to write the function name and then bracket open nanalu parameters. Kadi consider benina and sube when you run it, so it solves the problem. Agoimo. So let us just consider one example. So let us go through 79. So any that's the example any meva. So Gachloda, we just wrote one code more template sumbe, and then when we call this first, when you call this once more, so let us comment out all this more and the comment beshabe. If you run only the first code, the first samchik run be osing kachipyo metame. So this particular call will, you know, this particular call will only run well one and elephant three the code will only consider that example. So elephant 3 bar, then well 1 bar. Then what we do is we just match the water level. We just use the elephant to fill up well one's water level until it reaches the top according to the code out here. Well, what maximum water level? So labdalu out here, well that water level dumo and well naluti it considers the first well the well one every when you call it using well one more, and then maximum water level will be of that wells, and then which elephant will be used? Elephant 3. Now if you call the next one as well, just see, if you call this one, then the other well and elephant will also be considered. And zumbe lokchi call beodalu, you can reuse it pa ani zumchilu functions labi tuga. So clear with functions more. So if you are not clear, I will write one function chekidenlu and then run it uh, in the shell more. So say we want to write a function that calculates a percent fine beni mo class 7 8 nalu. So you are given questions like what is 30 is what percent of 60 say mo. So ani zumbe calculate benigi function chi dibachin, we just write something like firstly define. So define d, then keep a space and then write the function name. Say something like calc percentage. No, and then bracket open. So parameters kati banna tatunga chingimi mo. We don't know what we all need to make that code complete. So for time being, just keep it there. Use the colon and then indent mo. The indent bebe. What we want to do is we want to calculate the percent. So how do you do it? So you do something like part mo. Part divided by whole mo. So part divided by whole. So you do something like part divided by whole times 100 mo. So if you say 50 is what percent of 80 selawachin, so you do something like 50 divided by 80 times 100 mo. So anzumbe, we just put in what we want to do. So we do part divided by whole, give the space for clarity, and then multiplied by 100. So what do you want to do it? You have to return this one. So return is a statement that actually ani calculate base ave computer memory le return beniging achilu lokti. So you put return in front of this. So firstly you write def, define the function, and then what you do, you write the function name and then use the colon, indent it, and then you write in the main body of the code. So part divided by whole times 100. Formula may be calculate benigi. So now see which words are new out here. So return is the Python command, so you do not have to consider this one more. And then 100 the number memo integer number. So this can be calculated. But see out here part and whole. From nowhere these are coming in bate. So we have to pass this, remember now. Every time you calculate something, you have to pass in every time you calculate percentage of something, so you have to give two numbers bate, part and whole. So Hanidip, our parameters name. So we just write the name of the parameter out here. Exactly the same that we write in the code. So at last we have our function. We have written our function. So after that, we want to call it tuga. So after that, if you run it, nothing will be shown out here because we did not do anything. We just wrote the function and we did not use it. So we want to use it. So use beodalu, we have to call it boom. Call beodalu gachilapchingagi. We have to write the function name and pass in the parameters. So once you pass in the parameters, we call that arguments pate. So we pass in arguments to the parameters. So we write calc percentage, calc percentage, and then gachite gachipanimo. Say part is 30 and then whole is 60 bima. So we are expecting to get we are expecting to get 50% more, 50 ongobate. So after that, you just run it. Okay, so I think you have to print it out here. So we want to get displayed in our console nalu display chigoni meva. So we want to print that answer that the computer gives and then see what we are getting actually. So that's the calculate the bay, but then it's not returning to us. So see, when you calculate this and run on the console nanu malu, you see 50 more. So our function is right in everything. So use it again. So use it again and call it again. So call it using another number. Tuga. Call it using another number. So say you change number to say 25. 25 is what percent of 60 silawachin. So see 41.66%. Remember. So ani zumbe, you write one template and then you reuse it against using different numbers so you can calculate the percentage. Ani zum chilo function selavi tuga. So I hope you understood this. We're a little bit short on time. So if you did not understand this, please rewatch the video. Gachlo, it will be posted and the link will be shared to you soon. Tuga. So we'll move on. So just know you have to pass in parameters and then you have to indent, you have to put in colons, you have to write define. So everything I just taught you. So now we'll consider something called input. So input is a type of function, Tuga, inbuilt function in Python that asks users like you and me to enter a data. So that's zoom chibe wachin ngachigi that code dimiti ngachiri designer zoom chibe didowati. So chegi game this seudalu profile this seudalu Facebook first naru chiudalu. So what you have to put in a lot of information mana. So the Facebook will ask you to put in your date of birth low, then your name, user ID so sela base system megosh ani zoom chidi they are asking users like you and me to put in data bate. So ani zoom di kachigi be omo se input function gi be mi bate. So data di dato sense di ngachira gi sube dachi gachilo function call be oda di ngachira gi enter be mo. So we are the computer scientists out here do not like want to put in their own numbers. They have to request it for users according to them. Mana. So ani sumchi ask be megi function dilu we called it input function. Tunga. So to write input function, you have to do nothing. You just have to call something like forget int at the moment. You just have to write input and then bracket open. Then you write something that you want to get displayed in a console, bracket close. I'm saying. For instance, we'll consider challenge 98. So you'll understand it more. So before I show you the solution to this problem, so let us see what happens when you run the code. So you are just reducing the snake's length so that this one will get freed, and then this dove or a bird, I don't know which one it is, just flies and carries this cart carrying the banana to random position out here. See here. So the other way watching it is keeping it at the one, two, three, fourth key and you get low dial if you count it from down. And then if you run it again, it will randomly take it to another place. So the problem out here is if you write code like last time and then increase the giraffe's height to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, the next time when you run the code, this may go up to the very top and then 5 will not work anymore. So anisum chibe wachindi like gachlo you have to change giraffe's height according to which in which tile the banana is kept more. Anisum chibe change pe go that is only shown to the users. That mean the game same it is chamchi ngachi ani like this interface will not be available in game mo ngachi normal games dalu. So anisum chi wachin you ask data from user. You want to know to which level you want to increase the height of the giraffe. So hanisum chi imagine when you ask certain data from the users, you use input function. So analu bewachin, what it is doing is when you see the solution, what you have to do is actually height is equals to, forget int at the moment. Int, I'll come back in the next, in the next few slides, I guess. So you just write something like, uh, you just write something like this. So you just write input, tuka, input, literally input, input, bracket open, delay, annalu. Inside the bracket, what you write is the very thing that you want to get displayed down here in the console. So that way, enter the giraffe's height sudumo. So see down here, same thing is coming down. So whatever you want to like display and then tell the users so that this will be shown to them. So anidi, you write it inside the brackets and then enclose it using double indented or single what you call double inverted or single inverted comma to move inside the quotation mark actually. So anisum chibe d, then uh, user will be asked to put in gachlo aniva. User will be asked to put in the data to which amount you want to enter increase the giraffe's height, and then according to that the giraffe's height will be increased. So ananalu dato bewachin it took into second talmo. So just 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, you want to increase the height of the giraffe to 9 units so that it reaches the top and then the cart goes up. So ananalu the users can put 8 more, 8, and then when you enter, hit enter, I think it's 9, sorry. So when you hit enter, the height increases and then the codes work accordingly. Similarly here, just enter 3, hit enter, and then the job is done. Agoimo? Okay. So next, what okay. So next, what we will go through is we'll go through Python data types. So data lapchi mo ngachi data lapchi, what's data lab ngachi data lapchi, data collection lapchi mo, and then you may have even gone through data analysis case process tisu. So and there are types of data. So Kasan Lapchi data is a form of information. So anything can be data that gives you information. Sometimes it can be pictures, sometimes it can be numbers, sometimes digits, letters, or a sound or video. So data imeba. So there are many data types in Python, but basic data shegop midi 4 data types. So what are they? They are integers, floats, strings, and boolean. So integers are numbers, positive or negative numbers without decimal points, just numbers. So 1, 2, 3 or negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and zumbi decimal point mimigi numbers tislu integers selapi. And then floats are data types are the numbers which has decimal point. 1.1, 0.5, 2.33, 6.5, 4.8 and zombie. So if it has a decimal point, it is called a float. I don't know why it is called a float, but it is called a float data type. And then you have strings more. The strings are words and letters. The gachlo dach thoimo ngachigi run beudalu enter a number say double inverted comma gi nanalu su ve dimena. So ani sumchilu gachlo strings selabi tuga. Ani sumchilu strings selabi. And then you have what you call now, you have boolean mo. Boolean the true or false data type. The gadebe mo sewashin touching a while loop use pay mo. Whilst water level is less than maximum water level. So imanate. Ani sumnalu gachi bemo selawachin inside computer what happens is that condition will be considered. and then computer will return whether it is true or false. So if it is not if it is less than the well's water level, it will return false minute. So in false return be the code works minute. The code below that while loop will work. More, it will fill the while. More elephant will fill the while in that code. So anizumbe while loop nalu we return whether it is true or false. As soon as the condition is met, there is true thing over there. I mean, like, while water level is less than the maximum water levels of the loop. Okay, okay. It returns true, and then as soon as the condition is met, it becomes false. More the false show the loop. It returns two types of value, whether true or false. So ani zoom chigi data types. Ani zoom gi data value loop boolean data selabing. Tugosh. I'm saying, and then we'll talk more about integers and strings. Uh, so uh, integers and float kilawachin da gachlo you can interchange wa dachi ngachigi gachlo int chi thememena so ani zumdi gachibe mo sewachin. So when you enter floats data type and if you use a function called int telani nanlo bracket open close pebe nanlo number parameter so wachin, what it will do is it will change the float number to string, I mean integers, sorry. And then for instance on a int 5.6 enter bewachin, you will get back just 5. So why 5? So Python will round down your number to the nearest zero, nearest number that is less than that number. So 5.6, imagine 5 now round down to. Even if it is 5.9, it will round down to 5 and give you 5. The thing is that it forgets decimal point and the number after that, after decimal point. So if you want to convert certain number to int, you just write int and then enter the float, the number in the float, and then you get back the integer. So that's actually challenge peodalu out here. You see, int bebe nanalu the input sumemena bracket ki nanalu. So what it will do is, it will just get the input and then change it to integer. Because if user put in 5.6 something, then height giraffe ki 5.6 increase penigi provision minduba nanalu. So we want only integers. So what we do is we just convert the float that we are getting to integers and then we process it. So similarly, to get float from integer, you write float bracket open the number and close it. Similar to integers. Tuba. Now, uh, okay, okay. So there is a question that I was able to clarify actually. So string chisu wachin float gachilo int nalu convert peunga same. So no. The answer is no. For instance, ananalu gachilo chegi instead of a number, say ananalu you put in something like 7 mo. SEVEN 7 city watching. Will it convert Seduva? No. So int will not convert strings to integers tuba because it can and some like limitation chime. So you will get error mo value error. Invalid literal system monalu for int. So int cannot process uh, strings back to integers. It will only consider floats tuba. So now we will continue and talk more about strings. These are pretty much more interesting. So strings are like words more, word data type. Uh, Hanizumbeda, for instance, apna dos dumo, annalu. So strings are this like word data type, and then so out here you may get confused that you may change pe misup selab demo. Hanizumbeda nalu string use way. I've said that you can change int or float to string celebdabate. So what it will do is it will not take number 5 and then out here antame string 5 se diudalu, it will not take it and write five tuga. It will just take it and then double indented ani gachlo quotation mark kinanalu inverted comma mo inverted comma gi nananalu 5 suve return behu. So ani the string literally ba. So whenever you write string you use quotation marks ani question marks use momo double inverted comma or you can use even single inverted comma tuga. So ani gi nanalu you put in literals mo string literals and then it will get displayed. So the difference between this five inside the double inverted comma and the natural 5 number 5 is that you cannot uh, do operations like multiplication, subtraction, addition using any 5. So if you add 5 and then plus 0, it will give you uh, error. So this 5 is in string form and then this natural 5, only 5 is what you call a number. So additionally, what you can do is you can also index strings, just like list. List na lukasan indexing lapchimo. So what you can do is actually you can index the string. So I need double. Please look at this up nado. Okay. So I need double inverted comma ginanalu. We have up nado simo. You have how many? 1, 2, 3. You have like 7 letters out here, including the white space mo. 7 or 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7. So the index always starts from 0 and goes on but more. So A gets index 0, B gets index 1, then white space gets 2. So white space also gets any index me to go, don't forget that. And then N gets 3, A gets 4, and so on. So so since it has indexing, what you can do is you can retrieve a certain part of the letter. For instance, if you want to print only A, if you want to get only A, so you can do something like what and then square bracket open, then the index 0, square bracket close. And when you print that one, you'll get A. Similarly, you can also add two strings, but then addition is not like number addition. It will just bring in two string together, join it and give it back to you. For instance, if you say what the what at is the index 6 plus the original what they watching. So index 6 now O do minute more. So O will get added with the whole what and then it will give back something like O apnado okay. Okay, so string can also be added. So that is it with strings. You can also use for loops and then do similar operation like the lists. So since it takes in indexing, you can do like something like for uh, for what's inside what, say some, for letter inside what, you could do like letter plus a. By watching, you will get something like a p a space a and zombie. So you can also use for loops with strings. So strings are a bit more complicated and bit more interesting. So Cheragi Lokchina Jove, see the challenges and then you'll understand more. So we will, I think, see challenge number 103 and 104. So we can understand more about strings too. So 103 and 104 again. So if you see 103 out here, so you have gate out here, 3 gates actually, and then there is a password to open each of the gates more. So if you see the pattern between these two given, the password is actually the code mo yagi thoka ki code lamme lady the code ime, and then you do something to that lady and then you get the password, sorry, you got the password. So similarly out here, star gijaf kalu. We are adding ABC mo ni charanalu. So the pattern is you have a code out here, and then on that code you add ABC, and then the password works, and then the gate opens. So what you do is password kitten lu. We have seen that we will just get the code. So get number two, no, number two, remember? Get number two dot code selam dalu. It will give you back the code and plus dalu A edition mo. So we saw that it's not AAA, it's something like ABC. So ABC. So dalu what it will do is it will take this code and then it will just add ABC behind that one. So that's what we need. So we'll open this using get2. So run Beodalu. See, it gives a random code, and then after that, on that code, ABC will be added, and then Beodalu password gets walked, and then gate gets opened. But so the lesson out here is the concept out here is strings can be added, and then when you add strings, it will just combine the two. So let us see another example too. Tuka asihama watching. So now you have two gates more. You have two gates, and then if you see carefully, uh, the the pattern out here is you have the code, but now in front of the code you are adding AB more, and after the code you are adding YZ. So how do you do that? So we do something like this more. Firstly, password equals to AB plus the code get zero key code more and get zero. Is this zero? No, this is not zero. Okay, we are working for this one. So this is zero mo and zero ki code plus yz to mo jafalu. And then you open this using that password. And then on another password, say password one, you have like AB plus the same thing. Get to the password and password and then plus yz. And this will open both the gates. So just know that strings can be added. And then when you add a string, it combines the two parts that you are adding and give it back to you. Agoi mo? Oh, multiply betubka strings lo mo. Yes, you can multiply. When you multiply strings by a number, like say AB times 5 beorchin, you'll get AB 5 times. Azumbe. You can multiply. You can multiply strings. I don't think you can divide though. If you are curious about such things and then it occurs to you, just go to that Python shell mo and you go to monkey shell and then try it. Just put in what you like and then run it mo. Walk betu wachindi the male. Now, finally, we'll talk something about sets mo. Set is another book rack. Kasanin ngachin list time. So when we were looking at lists, what we said is it is like a book rack inside which you keep arrange books and then you have indexing out there to refer to something like a roll number to you and will chimo. Set is similar, actually similar, but then the difference is you cannot have two same elements inside a set. Kasakan list pe like giraffe 1, 2, giraffe 2, anime joimo. So you could also have lists like 1, 2, 3, the one number 2. So list ki nananlu, you could repeat the elements pa. Number one, the giraffe 1, giraffe 2, giraffe 3 do. An example consider version. You could have like giraffe 1 two times. Giraffe 1, again giraffe 1, giraffe 2, giraffe 3. And list nalu tubba. But then in sets that does not work. You could actually write a set using two same elements, but when you print a set, that one of the elements would be ignored. The set does not allow duplication. That's the only difference. Tuga. And then the other difference is you have to use curly brackets out here, not the square brackets like the list. So when is set useful? It could be useful when you are dealing with a data that has to be that you have to avoid duplications. So for instance, say you are entering something and then you enter number 2 twice mistakenly, then if you have to like reconsider it and then like you have to erase number 2, then you could use it. So it is like a book rack, no bookshelf with no two same book found in it. So every book is different inside that book rack. Tuga. So for this, to demonstrate this, I will go through challenge number 118. So you'll become more clear about this. So how you can use it in your banana tales. So out here, what you have is you have a basket, mom, and then you have to add balloons to that basket. So when you add balloons to that basket, the balloon will lift this basket up, and then it will fill up this gap so that the cart could run to the monkey. So you have each time you add one balloon, it will lift this basket by 1 unit. Tuga. So now see something out here. So you have to understand this. The balloons are stored in a set. So if you say a blue balloon, then if you have three blue balloons, only one will be considered. Tuga. So say you have three blue. See here, you are adding basket.balloon_colors.add memo. You are adding three blue balloons and then two yellow balloons more. So you are expecting to get five balloons, but then when you run the code, what happens is you'll get only two. Why? Because only one of the blue and one of the yellow is considered. Agoimo. So what you have to do, you have to have different colors in Nalu. Because no matter how much ever time you add the same balloon, only one will be considered because this is set. So what you have to do is you have to do something like you have to add a white balloon out here. No, you have to add a white balloon and then only it gets up to that level. Agoimo. So that is it with the sets. Difference between set and variable. Okay. So variable lesson by explain Beijing gechilo. Variable is a name to a data type. Set beru, list beru, mo. Integer beru, string beru, gachichi beru. If you give a name to that the data type, that is called a variable. For instance, now giraffes equals to so dumena. And giraffes the variable invate. So you could like write number equals to 1 say more. And the number is a variable. So a name given to a data type is called a variable. So I will also say something to you. Whenever you write a variable, you do not write two words with a space in between. That is that is not allowed by any grammatical root of the Python or any other coding language. Any giraffes tele space the ones that mitu. So you have to use one word to go. One word. It should begin with what, and then you could use numbers like this, and then underscore anibe. Giraffe underscore one. So do Anizumbe use pego to. So giraffe one, giraffe two, giraffe three are also variables because these are like storing data types more. Objects store be Giraffe one is storing what the object that is being referred to by giraffe one. No, giraffe sum ginali chidi refer be mebate ani sumbe variable ni tuga. Variable is something, not something. Variable is a name given to a data type. I'm saying. So with this, we have come to end of whatever had to be covered in this coding concept. More. Ngagi briefly we explain bay. If you did not understand this, then video record pay. We will post that video in our channel Code Monkey Bhutan's channel dumo and link forward beung chilu. So please rewatch the video and see where you have missed out. Chigi sachiko hamigowa. And then we have a project for you all. So just to see how much you have actually gained from our presentation here. So the project is your task is you have to write four functions tuga. That's function writing thing. So if you did not get it really well, then please go back and then rewatch the video. I've tried to explain it as clearly as possible. And then even if you did not understand from them, then you could refer to Google or do some chat GPT tuga. It will explain you well. So four functions tini. Each function has to perform one of the four basic operations. addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So our goal is to design a calculator, to a simple calculator. So any four function dombe, what we can do is we could like develop one calculator, but the most simple calculator which does addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So for function, one will perform addition, one will subtraction, one division, and one multiplication. And then you will call each function at least once. Tuga. That's the function calling at the imo. You will under each of the function you will write a code that calls the function. At least one example. Tuga. At least one function call. You could do two or three as well. So where to submit? We will design one Google form and then link will be forwarded to you from that group, more Telegram group imo. And nalu will post that link Google form chi jiu chilu. And nalu you'll find a space to submit your file. So you will write it in a docs document, to Word document. Shemo. Why I am asking you to write in docs document is because some of you may not have Python like the actually Python program midong nanalu, and then I don't know whether you'll know to extract your file from any code monkey so for convenience of all, I'm asking you to write in docs document. You do not have to do anything. Write a function and indent it properly. To indentation this pissa be colon this kati suni na pissa su, and then you write it in a docs file and then submit it. To just do what you are taught today. So if you already know about function, if you have already and have some experience with programming, and then if you then please do not go beyond the dato gachi ask family dato gachi teach pay any class nalu, just that use pay write those four functions and then submit it to us with that a Google form, and we will go through this more, and then we'll try to grade it and then give you some feedbacks and recommendation too. Uh, so that is the end of the presentation, and I think tomorrow's class will be taken by Tandin to talk more about data science more. So tomorrow's class you will learn about data science. The coding if you want to learn more, then please explore more too. As I always say, coding is a language, and then the more you do it, the more you will know. So I hope you got a lot through this presentation, and even if you did not get the concept, you may have had the chance to go through what programming can do more. This is just a beginning, so I want to see many of you turning into computer scientists and doing a lot of things more in the future. Tomorrow class, look, tomorrow, yes, there is class, and then you learn data science too. You will continue with data science. Re-explain project lo. Okay, if you did not understand project daruchi explain bege tuga darusachi explain bege. So your project is just to write functions. That's function writing thing function so calculate percentage save and t be but ani sum function chi dini tuga function chi me shi dini. So each function will you'll write four function. One will add more define additions la benzume. One will add numbers more different numbers. One will subtract, one will multiply, and one will divide. Hansume four function d. Then each function gi olu you will write function call. Function calling demo how to use that function. Ani zumbe function call at least once at least one. That's assume that you call Bayman of Gashilo challenge people. Anizumchi function calling at least one that's D, and then you'll write it in a document, docs document, more what document D bay, and then we'll share a link more. Google Form share bay, and you'll have a space to submit that one. So I'm click pay submit bin too. I'm saying. Uh, Telegram na sign pe men Telegram na link sign pe and link na click pe you'll get space inside that one. Google form share be tu ani ginana lui. Anyhow, I'll write the instruction once again and then post the link later on. So I'm chira I dari lu. Class now we'll have a last class I think tomorrow. Ashim will brief you on that. we'll have one class on data science ki 80 cover भएको भिलो. And then submission ki due date day I'll write it when I post that link too. So that is the end mo. I'm chiro ingai khatule. And that's the end. I'm chiro ingai khatule. I have covered all the things that I was supposed to cover, and then happy coding too. Thank you.